Hey, what's up, Facebook? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And I just want to talk to the black monkeys who need to put on their shoes. I'm just kidding. I had to say something that was going to give you some attention. But I did want to talk about the comment from Ronald Reagan talking about African monkeys who were uncomfortable putting on shoes. It's funny because I just made a post last week about Donald Trump being the best president for this time and for this moment. And this is really just a confirmation of what I was saying. Listen, none of this stuff is new. None of the things that you see or that you've heard or that you're seeing in this political arena is new. This stuff has been going on forever. Donald Trump saying the things that he's saying, this is great for you. This is awesome because now you see what's really going on and hopefully you're being awakened by it. I just want to talk about the history of racism in the country. Listen, this is not new. George Washington, he owned slaves. Thomas Jefferson, although he helped write the Declaration of Independence, he still wrote that black people were incapable of producing art and poetry, and he even raped his 14-year-old slave, Sally Hemings, and produced 6 children with her. Richard Nixon, his war on drugs was really about how to really stop the anti-war leftists and blacks. That's what it was about. And so the war on drugs was really designed. It was as an evil, deceptive, and sinister policy to wage a war on the anti-war left and African Americans. Dwight D. Eisenhower, he said, "I'm strongly of the opinion that Negroes ought to be in Africa, yellow men in Asia, and white men in Europe and America." Lyndon B. Johnson, I love to quote this because this is all about dividing and conquer. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice that you're picking his pockets. In fact, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. Divide and conquer. That's what this country has been built on, is to keep the rich richer and the poor poor. Reagan, he said African diplomats were monkeys. He called them monkeys and that they were uncomfortable wearing shoes, hence the title. I'm not calling anybody a black monkey, but I just wanted to get your attention. Racism has always been a part of the fabric of American history. It really has. And beyond what's been said or has been discovered that's been said, the policies that have been put in place really shows you what side of the coin that they're on. The war on drugs, it was an extension from Richard Nixon to Ronald Reagan, all about how do we stop these leftists, which are liberal Americans and African Americans. J. Edgar Hoover, do you know who J. Edgar Hoover is? He said the single most largest threat to America was Negro unity. Divide and conquer. I say unity of American people, period, is the biggest threat to this country. If they can figure out how to divide us, they can conquer us. And it's so unfortunate because the least educated people buy into this notion and they vote against their own interests because they've been convinced by wealthy people that other poor people are the ones to blame for their misfortunes. Lyndon B. Johnson, he gave them the blueprint of the divide and conquer. Give them somebody to look down on and they won't even know. They'll give you everything that they have. This is how they divide us. This is how the rich stay richer. This is how the poor stay poor. That's why this bird whistling that we see right now to the racist group are so effective. I mean, Trump pandering to them, saying, they're nice people, all that stuff. It's given the rising to this type of behavior, and you're seeing a rise in hate crimes. You're seeing a rise in more division among the races. I'm telling you, if we come together as one, we will be much more effective in this country. But we don't hear it. So what ends up happening is, the things that have been perpetuated in the government, even though like Bill Clinton, he may not have said things but his policies proved to be otherwise, right? So with his three strike laws, and with Hillary Clinton calling those people, what did she call them, animals? That is the type of mindset that they have, even though they didn't say it. That's the mindset that they had. It was going on. It's been going on for years. Listen, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. Yeah, it did, except in the instance of prisons. Then you have privatized prisons. You have the prison to pipeline system that takes children. They already know who's going to go to prison. That you have judges that are selling children to prisons. You have corporations that are benefiting from privatized prisons. This is slavery. And the majority of prisoners, or modern day slaves, are African Americans and Hispanics. So when you have laws in place, even whether they say it or not, just because Trump is saying it, whether they said it or not, their actions have always shown that they were not for you. And so you're mad because they're taking these government programs away, and you're mad because they're taking the welfare away, and you're mad because you think that Donald Trump is doing something different, and guess what? He is doing absolutely nothing, absolutely different. Blacks and Hispanics, they don't commit most of the crimes. They just get convicted most of the time. Let me repeat that. Blacks and Hispanics do not commit most of the crimes. They just get convicted most of the time. I said that to say this: no matter who is in office, it's all the same, Democrats or Republicans. But here's the benefit. This fool just helped the real estate market. Yesterday, interest rates was cut by the Federal Reserve 0.25%. And the reason why they did that was because the feds were hoping to head off the impact on the U.S. from the global economy that has been weakened by geopolitical tensions, by the Trump trade wars, and by stalled growth. That's great news. Interest rates have dropped because of this fool that's been cutting up all over the world. So look at the bright side. Let's take advantage of the opportunities here. Let's take advantage of what's in front of us. Stop worrying about people giving things to us. The only way we can build is if we do it ourselves. That means, so say you get a house. Either you're going to get if you get a better interest rate, either your payment's going to go down or you can get more. Think about this. Getting, if you ever contemplated on purchasing a home, even, because 90% of wealth in this country is created through real estate. And so if you use this time to start investing in yourself, get your first property, get a multifamily property, use the rents from one of your mortgages to pay off, or one of the rents to pay off your entire mortgage. Stop thinking about real estate as getting your dream home right now, but think of it as an investment opportunity. One of my agents and good friends, Katrina Carter, said yesterday, she talked about how people were pulling their resources together with their friends and their family. People come in. Now is the time. Now is the time to own your own property. Don't look at real estate as your forever home right now. Hell, I don't even think I'm in my forever home. But I've done things little by little to get to where I need to be. And I had to look at it. I could afford a much more expensive home, but I had to look at my entire situation and says, does that really make fiscal sense for me right now? Let me work on this. Let me build this. Let me invest in this before I go to this. And so many times people want to get my 2-story, my 3,000 square foot mini mansion. Well, why don't you start off with a multi-unit property, a multifamily property where that's paying your rent, and you do that for 6 months. And then you get another one and you do that for 6 months. And then you get another one and you do that for 6 months. Why don't you pull together with your family and pull your resources together so that you can buy a 4-unit to start off with? I would say, maybe you want to go in with a spouse. I say don't go half on everything with your spouse. If you can afford to get something by yourself, get it separately. He get his, you get yours, she get hers, you get yours. And now you have 2 properties. So now that your income isn't tied up into one property, you have something. I help people create their wealth portfolio in this way. It's very strategic, but it's absolutely doable. So many times we complain about gentrification. We're such a reactive people, and we're not proactive. We get mad because people come into these neighborhoods and these properties that we didn't want, that we thought we were too good for. We sell our grandmama's properties, we sell our mother's properties. As soon as we get a little money, we take the money from the highest bidders, and then other people are buying because they see potential. And then we get mad because people are seeing the potential, and now they're moving other people out of the neighborhoods. Be proactive and not reactive. I was just in Oakland last month, and I seen in an area where it was considered a dangerous neighborhood some years back. Now they have a Starbucks. There's gentrification when there's a Starbucks. You got people jogging. You got people pushing strollers. You got loft apartments because you didn't find the value somebody else did, but now you're mad at them. And now you're being reactive instead of proactive. If you really want to effectuate change, for your family and your future and your children, stop relying on the government and create your own future. Create your own lane. Stop relying on the government. If you want to sit down with me or anybody on my team so that we can sit down and create your wealth portfolio, we have everything all in-house at Catalyst. We can help you with your credit. We can do your financing. Did you know Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, we're the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California, and we are a direct lender. We lend our own money. Yeah, we're a direct lender, so we can help you in all of those ways. So I want you to stop letting others dictate your life, and I want you to start dictating your own. Let's focus on the things that matter. Let's focus on building your future. It's not as hard as you think, I promise you. You just have to be willing to do what's necessary to make it happen. You do deserve it. You can do it. You are worthy. You can have it all. So my goal is just really to help you to create the wealth that you desire and that you deserve. There's enough out here for all of us. So now it's time to build. So if you want to sit down and do your wealth portfolio, that's fine. We can look at what's the best option for you. Do you need to are you doing group economics? Do you need a trust? Do you need an LLC? We can help figure that out. But it's just time to wake up and do something different. 2019 is the year of the awakening. Let's wake up and do something different. Wake up and do something different. Let's wake up and do something different. That's all I got to say. Take care and God bless.